Well, hello. My name is Robert Bell. I'm one of the co-founders of the Intelligent Community Forum, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our fourth of four webinars about the 2016 award cycle. And also let me introduce another of our co-founders, Lou Zaccarilla, who's going to say a few words to open us up. Lou?
Hello, one of the founders of the ICF, coming to you from New York, the base of our think tank. I've got Robert, who you just heard, and John Young, our other co-founder, on the call today, and you'll be hearing from both Robert again and John later. I just wanted to welcome you to the last of our informative webinars this year on how to submit a nomination and to give you some guidelines with regard to some of the changes that have been made in the program this year. But let me give you an overview, especially for those of you who are coming to us for the first time to try to become Intelligent Community of the Year, on how this program evolved and what it means and what the benefits are for you and your community if you decide to go forward. First of all,
Hello.
We have been doing this since 1999. We have designated a region, a city, or a town as the Intelligent Community of the Year. We started with the first naming of Singapore in 1999, and since that time we've designated 16 cities or communities as
You might as well mute it. I
Communities
can't
of the
hear
Year.
you.
And last year we named Columbus, Ohio as our Intelligent Community of the Year. I want to point out that the program is for cities and regions large and small. We've had LaGrange, Georgia, very small city, Stockholm, Sweden, and Taichung, Taiwan. Large, medium, and small cities have all reached the top of this group. But remember that we have a three-stage cycle. The first stage is the Smart 21 group. That group comes to us through the submissions that you will make within the next month or so, and we get about 400 of them, a little bit south of 400 over the last couple of years. We have a group of academic analysts, a research company in India, and jurors who participate in the evaluation of this program as we go forward. We'll go from that initial wave of communities to a group of 21. That group then is evaluated again, and they are then selected further down, and in February we will name the world's top 7 Intelligent Communities of the Year. The top 7 are a very, very elite group, and they are the ones that are invited to the ICF Summit in June. They become the centerpiece of a 3-day-long event of networking, dialogue, and awards for our program. And as I say, we are then looking at them in depth to try to mine from them the secrets of their success. We like to design our program to have a bit of mystery to it, an element of surprise. And so those 7 on the very, very last day of our summit are assembled in a room where we have our big dinner, and in front of about 500 people. One of them is revealed as the Intelligent Community of the Year. As I said, we've had communities from all over the world participating in our award and being named to the Intelligent Community of the Year. We've had Eindhoven in Holland, one of the great turnaround success stories in Europe as an Intelligent Community of the Year in 2011. We've had Riverside, California, named in 2012, a community that has completely resurrected itself and has turned itself around in a very, very profound and impressive way. And we've even, of course, gone to Asia, where the Taiwanese in particular have embraced the Intelligent Community approach from the presidential level on down, and in 2013 gave us the second Intelligent Community of the Year from that nation in a 7-year period when they named Taichung. So as you can see, we cover the globe, and we also cover the globe in ways that the World Wealth Report and Fortune magazines have said is akin to the rise of the no-name city. We've designated cities that by 2050, according to those analysts will dictate the terms of the global economy and seize their own destiny to become economic powerhouses in and of themselves. And all four of these communities that you see have done that, including Toronto, which was named in 2014. And to further reinforce this, in June of this year, Mayor Michael Coleman from the city of Columbus, in fact, completed a 15-year tenure where he had taken Columbus, which was a struggling community, and turned them into a community that was named Intelligent Community of the Year, one that has produced 29,000 jobs within a 2-year period, and by all measures has led a renaissance in the American Midwest. So it can be done anywhere by any community. All it really takes is following some of the principles that we have laid forward. And we hope that you can demonstrate to us that you are as capable as any of these communities. I should add one thing about being a top 7 community. As I say, we consider the Smart 21 and the top 7 the real winners. Our events are fun. Obviously, you will meet about 130 of your peers. You'll be doing a lot of networking, coming out with some business, a lot of visibility in the media. But as you can see from Franklin Cullo, who is the head of science and technology down in Rio de Janeiro, the event is really something to be proud of. It takes the work that you are doing as communities and celebrates it, perhaps for the first time on a global stage. But I want to add, for those of you who have been working on this project maybe for years, that being named to the Smart 21 list or being designated as an intelligent community is just the start. We now have a foundation and an association that collects only cities that have been designated as intelligent community and makes them part of a working group. So any community that makes the Smart 21 is automatically part of this group, and we keep you together and allow you to do things with each other that, again, lead to additional opportunities. And we'll tell you more about that as we go through the program. As I said, we try to have fun and identify communities that are working toward the light, but we think the stakes are very high. The best analogy I can give you is if you take a satellite and fly it above the Korean Peninsula tonight, and of course there are satellites that do this, and here's a picture from one, you will see something that I think is striking and also indicates what I believe is at stake right now for every one of your communities. If you look at South Korea, you will see something that is obvious. You'll see a people with their great cities, Suwon, Seoul, the Gangnam, all three of them intelligent communities that are moving toward the light. I think it's a great analogy that fiber is called the light, because they have taken the ideas of broadband, the ideas of a knowledge workforce, innovation, political freedom, and have obviously moved themselves into the 21st century. They are the 8th largest economy on Earth, but it's been done city by city by city. 18 miles north of the demilitarized zone, the 38th parallel, you can see stark darkness. And North Korea is a great example of a community, a nation, rather, that hasn't taken the right steps. We think this is what's at stake community by community by community as well. We have to make some choices today about whether to move to an intelligent community status or to stand still. And we know that by virtue of the fact that you're on this call, that you've chosen to move toward the light. So let me tell you what's next for you. The schedule is very straightforward. The nominations that you will submit are due to us by 23 September, midnight Eastern time. We then, as I say, put the data out for evaluation by our analysts, and on October 21st, we'll announce our group of 21. That announcement will come from our institute in Dublin, Ohio, and you are welcome to attend that event on October 21st. We evaluate the group of 21, as I said earlier, and then there's a deadline for more data to be submitted. And as we move into February, on February 10th, you will hear the announcement of the top 7 intelligent communities of the year. Through May of 2016, you are obligated to host an ICF executive for a maximum of 2 days and to allow us to validate some of the data and the claims that were made in the submissions that you made. And we look forward to those 2-day visits because they teach us a lot about you and allow you to show off your great community to us. The top 7 then are invited to the ICF Summit, the site of which will be announced next month. And then in June, as I said, at that dinner, we named the Intelligent Community of the Year. I look forward to your nominations. We honor the work that you're doing because, again, you have chosen to move toward the light and to show the rest of the world what the 21st century community will look like and how important it will be as we evolve a new type of economy, a new type of workforce, and restore the place that we all call home. So we honor your work. We appreciate you making the time here today to be with us. And with that, Robert, I'm going to turn it back over to you to take us down a little bit and to look at the process. Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you, Lou. Okay, so now we're going to get into the meat of this matter. That has to do with changes in our process. If you're familiar with it from past years, please note these, and if not, it will certainly give you a good orientation to what's ahead. I'm going to talk to you briefly about our updated nomination form, about the addition of a new intelligent community indicator to our process, updates to our theme. We'll turn to my friend John Young to tell you about that, and then finally our Smart 21 virtual site tour that we're going to be conducting this year. So, the nomination form. If you've ever filled it out in the past, you know that it has typically consisted of 6 questions to which people have submitted anywhere between 10 and 50 pages of answers. So it ended up being quite an arduous process for them as well as for the many people involved in evaluating them. Well, our new nomination form provides some simplification. We've reduced it to 17 multiple choice and short answer questions, 6 longer answer questions, which will give you a chance to write those essays. And here's some examples of what you can expect. Here is a multiple choice question. This one is aimed at exploring the intersection between education and employment in your community, whether it's secondary, technical community, college, or undergraduate and graduate institutions. And there are check boxes for things that we have seen intelligent communities doing over the year, as well as an other box where you can teach us something new that's going on in your community. An example of a short answer question is this very simple one. We've reduced a lot of our broadband evaluation to tell us how many competitive providers you have in each of these categories. That helps us get a sense of the degree of competition in your community, which of course affects quality of service and price. And then finally, the long answer question. We want you to talk in this question to tell us about the innovative developments in your community, specifically that bring together business, institutions, and government in what we call the innovation triangle. Now, why have we done this? First of all, as I think I alluded to already, we want to reduce the workload needed to complete the form. We want to take it down from dozens of hours to a couple of hours, from 100 hours in the estimation of one person I talked to, down to 2 hours. And that's also going to reduce, of course, the workload involved in analyzing it, which is good for our analysts and good for our process. More profoundly, we came to realize that our nomination form was giving an unintended advantage to native English speakers and an unintended advantage to those who were clever enough to have their PR and marketing departments help prepare their nomination forms. And we wanted to take that away. And lastly, it provides greater transparency to you about what we believe makes a community intelligent, which we think is a net gain for everyone involved in the process. So at this point, I'm going to stop and see if there are any questions out there. There are 2 ways you can ask questions. You'll see on your control panel a little raised hand. And if you click on that, I will unmute you. You can also go to the questions section of your control panel and just log a question there. So let's take a little pause here and see if anybody has anything that they'd like to contribute at this point. All right, so far I'm seeing nothing, but please go ahead and ask a question at any time. It'll pop up here on my screen, and I'll be able to address it in one way or another. Moving on. Our new indicator. We added for the first time in our history another intelligent community indicator to our process. It's sustainability, and that's sustainability in the environmental sense. We piloted it in last year's awards cycle, got generally very positive results. We're able to tweak our our questionnaire a little bit to improve it as the result. And so this year we're going to include it in the 2016 evaluation. And so here is an example of a question you'll run into in the Smart 21 form. Very simple to answer. Do you track these things? Because we know, of course, that you can't manage things unless you measure them. So we need to find out first and foremost if you track things. I've just seen a question come in. What is your process? So let me just turn to answer that. You can, sorry, Calvin, you're asking about a particular thing. I've had a request for a copy of this PowerPoint presentation, which we'll be happy to send that to Calvin. If you would like to receive a copy as well, why don't you just go into the questions section and log your request, and we'll make sure that you receive it. So thank you for raising that, Calvin. Why have we added an indicator? Well, perhaps something like sustainability and easement does not need any particular justification, but for us, we're not just interested in saving the planet, we're interested, as Lou said, in doing it community by community. And so we decided that sustainability belonged here because it contributes to economic development by increasing efficiency, by reducing costs, and creating opportunities. It contributes certainly to quality of life at the local level and also to cultural richness, because communities that engage in sustainability projects typically do it partly as a means to bring the community together. So for all of those reasons, we think it's a powerful indicator of progress for a community. So questions about that one? Okay, let me move along. And to do that, let me introduce my colleague and friend, John Young. Let me see if I can find you, John. Yep, you've been unmuted, so please, would you take us through our updated theme?
Well, hello, everyone. This is John Young. Back in 2015, the Intelligent Community Forum focused on what we call the study of urban and regional planning, and basically how it's impacting the way in which we all sort of live, work, how we create our cities, which we refer to as often as city building. And at that time, we had what we called the revolutionary community as the theme. And it was such a powerful program, as Robert Bell indicated, that we had decided to continue with this theme for the second year. And what we're going to be doing is looking at the opportunities that intelligent communities will undertake from revolution to renaissance. You know, we ask the questions, for instance, how do city builders plan for the future of economic, technological, and environmental disruption? And as we all know, these are disruptive times, and even city building or urban planning is changing. And what it needs is the best technologies, the best methodologies and processes to engage our citizen groups for community acceptance and participation in the plans for their communities. And urban planners are looking at those technologies, best practices, and so forth. But we're also looking for examples that we can share with others around the world. So we think that this is a very powerful and very useful theme to move forward with in 2015 and 2016. So we are not going to include this particular question in the Smart 21 nomination form, but we will include it in the top 7 questionnaire moving forward. Robert?
Okay, and if you're interested in learning more about this theme, you can go to revolutiontorenaissance.com and see our online white paper, which will give you a good deal of background and, if you will, the philosophy behind it, why we think it's an important thing. And you'll also have the opportunity to check in what some of our intelligent community visionaries and others think about this transition and in envisioning their communities for the future, as well as catching up on some of the more interesting news in this sector. So I do recommend it to you. It's an asset that's available to you for your use. All right, and thank you, John. Any questions about that? I've had a couple of questions come in. One is from, Stefan Goyet from Montreal has asked about sustainability. Is Yes, it is a very, very broad topic. We're focusing strictly on environmental issues, Stefan, and so that's what you'll see in our questionnaire. But we do know that it extends to every other part of the community, economic and so forth. Thank you for that. And lastly, our Smart 21 virtual site tour. Part of our process has long been for one of the three of us to go to each of the 7 cities who are part of our top 7 and to validate what was claimed in the questionnaires, as well as to learn, as well as to find out the things that they're really doing to create success. Well, we want to extend that opportunity to our Smart 21 this year, and we cannot, of course, physically travel to 21 places in the time allowed. But what we can do and will do is to offer the opportunity for web and teleconferences with the co-founders, in which we'll ask you to present about the community along the lines of our 6 intelligent community indicators. Tell us about your starting point, your challenges. Tell us what you're doing to overcome those challenges and what results you've produced so far. And we'll be happy to provide you with some feedback about the things that we think are striking, about the things that we think perhaps could need more work in your community, might be good places, good things for you to focus on in the future. And so we think that's been useful for our top 7, and we believe it will be a useful addition to our program for the Smart 21. So that's something to look forward to in the event that you're able to get to that prestigious list. And finally, any final questions on any of that? Okay. The date is, as Lou said earlier on, September 23rd at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We'll be looking for submission of your questionnaires, your nomination questionnaires, to us by email. And it's always a very busy couple of days leading up to that. You certainly may submit it earlier than that, but September 23rd is the date to put on your calendar. And by doing that, you will be lining yourself up for this moment. This is a moment that we all enjoy very, very much. And that this is the moment before we announced who our 2016 Intelligent Community of the Year was. John's opened the envelope. We've all seen it. We're all gaping in amazement and joy, and the former winners of the Intelligent Community of the Year and other visionaries of the year are grouped behind us on the stage for the moment in which we announce that Columbus, Ohio in the United States, was our Intelligent Community of the Year. That's the mayor on the left standing up and giving a great shout along with his team, who are all very excited. So it's a wonderful moment. I truly believe that any of the people on this web conference have that opportunity to go all the way to the top, because it's not about size, it's not about wealth, it's about how you're attacking the problems that you've inherited and carrying your community forward. So just a reminder, there is absolutely no cost to apply. There's some detail in the questionnaire about costs that you can expect to incur should you become successful, move into the program, but none of it involves writing a check to us. And we look forward very much to your nominations, to your participation in all of our programs going forward. So if there are no further questions, I want to wish you a very successful day or evening ahead, and thank you very much for joining us.